What's up, guys? Welcome to Shay's World. I am your girl Shay, and we are back. It is Traitors time. You ready to be a traitor or faithful? But of course, I can't do this alone, so I have my lovely co-host with me.
Your boy Malik, right here, ready to be a traitor.
Let's see. Whew. The first episode.
The very first season 3. We're here, Shay.
I was mad, because we saw the teaser, which was like the first 7 minutes. So I was like, I can fast forward. Once it came out, I was like, I can fast forward.
Yeah,
I
well,
just
not
want to
even
see who shook the hand, man. And I was like, I don't know if I'm watching this.
anybody. You thought somebody was gonna let
Yeah.
that man Boston Rob into the house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna get to there. We're gonna
We're
get to
gonna get to it, but
there.
if they knew what was good for them, they would have let him in at that point because they changed the trajectory of the game.
They did. I told you there was some trickery coming.
All right, so that was just my little. I had to get that off so y'all can know where this energy from for this first episode come from. It's because I was mad, but I
Mm,
got notes. I have a lot of notes actually. Um, let's see. They're driving up in the different cars or whatever. Of course, people know who Tony is. So they're asking him a few questions. I think you get the glimpse of Jeremy saying he didn't want to see Tony on his ride to the castle. Who else? Um,
Brittany and Danielle.
yeah, the Brittany and Danielle situation. So
Wasn't somebody didn't want to see Tom?
when they saw was it Tom or was it Sam? Because Sam is Britney Spears' ex. It was a
Oh,
couple of the
okay.
ladies when they saw him were like ill, whatever,
Mm.
yada yada. I can't remember which
Or
particular.
no. So I think it was Tom because
Oh yes, yes,
Tom
you're right.
dated a housewife,
Uh,
somebody named Ariana,
yeah.
who I think is a housewife or something, and she's friends with somebody who was on this
She's
current
friends with
cast,
Chriselle. She's friends
Chriselle.
with
Okay,
Chriselle. Yes,
so
you're
yeah, she was like, so it's a lot of rivalries, or not rivalries, I guess, but there's a lot of pre plots
right. Mm-hmm.
already built plot lines.
Into it. So it's good. I was like, okay. Okay. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it or whatever.
You know.
So Alan comes out. He has all these masked people with him, and they have their little clothes on and everything. And the last
Real
one to leave,
Colts.
is Rob. Um, he reveals Rob, and he tells them if anybody comes up and shake my hand, Rob can enter the game. And the person who shakes my hand can immediately exile someone or whatever. Nobody takes the shot. But Carolyn was very nervous. She really wanted to kind of take the shot. She was willing to take in Rob and sacrifice Tony because she didn't want to play with Tony either. She doesn't really want to play with Rob, but she didn't want to play with Tony. But she didn't do it. But what that moment did for Carolyn is before any traders were even picked, people got to see her and her kookiness and her demeanor. So I think that moment works out in her favor in the end. A little,
Right.
at least for now, it's working in her favor. We'll say that. So they take Rob away, and I'm like, surely there's got to be some type of twist, turn, something, because I know y'all didn't have Rob fly all the way to Scotland and do all this promotion to get people to watch y'all show, and he
Just to
just
have him rejected. I think they were counting on him not being brought into the house because, like you just said, they brought him all the way out here. They know if he gets brought in the house, cool, that's straight. We have a plan for that. But 9 times out of 10, ain't nobody going to want to play with this man. They're
Hmm.
not going to voluntarily bring him in. So I just was like, there's no way. Like you said, they're not going to bring him all the way out here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked it though. I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining for what it was worth.
Now, I do have some thoughts about production and the thoughts into casting, but we'll get there when we get there. When we get the big surprise on episode 2. That's
Mm,
when, or we could talk about it at the end. No, did it happen at the end of episode 1?
I
No, it
think
happened
we.
at the beginning. Either way, we'll talk about it. I'll talk about it at the end of this episode, period. Regardless of whether we get to that point or not. I'll talk go ahead and talk about it. But I do think production is productioning. Is gonna be doing a little more production in this season, and that's just what I'm gonna say. They go into the house like we usually do. Everybody is, of course, breaking off into little sections. Which is something that they are told to do in the rules. Don't everybody bunch up in one room. Make sure you go from room to room. You utilize all of the rooms and stuff like that. So of course this is their first time in the castle, that to see it for themselves versus on TV. And we end up with all of the survivors in one room minus Rob. And Carolyn is kind of making it known that she doesn't believe Tony straight out of the gate. And the traitors hadn't even been chosen. But, excuse me, he's trying to convince people that he wants to be a faithful. When in reality, he asked Alan to be a
I want to
traitor.
be a
He
traitor.
wanted to be a traitor. He like almost begged to be a traitor. Um, let's see what other conversations or things that happened before they had. Do you remember any other conversations that like stuck out to you before
Um,
the first roundtable?
who is on this cast? I think that the survivors got to know each other a little bit. Bob and Bob got to know each other. The housewives. Did they have any conversation between them? I'm sure when they saw each other, like the survivors, they were kind of like immediate
Yeah, I'm sure
alliance
they
ship or
did.
something like
I don't
that.
think it was necessarily shown. Oh, I do remember Jeremy asking one of the ladies. She was like, "What show were you on?" And she was like, "Bachelor, Bachelorette." He's like, "How did it work out for you?" And she was like, "Well, I'm a lesbian now."
No.
And we found out that Ivor is the first gay royal. Well, he told them about being the first gay royal. I think we read it in the cast assessment from that
Yeah, I think
article.
so.
Um, that
It wasn't too
insignificant part.
much.
Y'all want to hear the
Yeah.
good stuff that happened. So boom, let's get on to the first roundtable ceremony, where Alan chooses the traitors. And he walks on, it's the typical same thing. He walks around the table a few times. So the first person he picks is Danielle Reyes. And I was like, okay, I'm with you. So then he is walking, and Carolyn is chosen. And I was like, "Ooh, I don't know how she's gonna do." I think I said in the cast assessment, like, I don't know if she'll be able to keep it together, but I have to change my mind on that. She was a very excellent pick. If people would listen to her, like, they would be spot on, but she's a good pick. And then it he acted like he was finna pick Tony, and I was like, yes, 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 yes. But it wouldn't like cut to commercial or whatever, the little cliffhanger thing, next scene. And Bob the drag queen is chosen. I was like, I'm not mad about this. But these are a lot of big personalities in this turn. that's my thoughts on the trader selections. Love each of them. Not mad about the selections, but this is a lot of personalities, and they are each playing totally different games. So I don't know how it's going to pan out for all of them. What are your thoughts?
Um, when Danielle got picked to be a traitor, I thought this was cool because I think that she's going to be um a voice of reason. I think that she's going to be the. I think that she could be a voice of reason. I don't know her. I don't know. I don't know her. So maybe I'm wrong. Obviously, I'm wrong. But that's just the vibe that she gave me. She gave me like, okay, well, let me see. But again, this is we're gonna get there because my opinion did change later on. But this was my initial thought after when I saw that she got picked. When I saw Carolyn got picked, I thought that she would be um the liability trader. Um just because she seemed to be very animated and that was just where I was at right there. I got more thought again as I further watched the show. But then when Bob got chose, you already know I wanted Bob to be a traitor. So
Yeah.
I was elated. I was
Mhm.
ecstatic. Um I think that or I thought that when Bob got chose that Bob would be um maybe not so level-headed but still a clear thinker, but also the like headstrong trader that's like very much more robust, which I kind of am correct in that statement, but that's just because I know Bob's personality. So yeah, I thought that all three of these traders were very cool, individual choices. I wasn't mad with any of them. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have our traders. Tom tries to make sure that he takes off his yeah, so that he could see. He's visualizing. Do you
he
hear
said, he
me?
said, he said,
He's looking with a flashlight.
okay.
Um, Danielle had a poker face. I noticed that. Chriselle was the first name that was like floating out around when they first walked out, and then Tom's name was floating around a little bit too.
So, do you think that when you take the blindfold off immediately is a like this is when I need to start looking? Like, do you think that's a good time to look? Because a lot of people do that, but you see that when people do that every season, immediately after the picking, they're never correct in their
Mhm.
statement of saying like this person tensed up or this person sighed really heavy or this person was breathing differently or looking differently. It's always another faithful accusing another faithful. So do you think that that is a good place to start looking, or do you think you should give it some time, give it like a 24-hour period before you start looking and doing some thinking?
Mm, good question. I think I will wait to the first challenge
You know?
because a lot of people were correct in their thinking on the first challenge of strategy wise. A lot of people are really correct in a lot of things and are shocking me, and I'm just mind blown that they cannot get this shit right.
Okay.
Right in their face. But anywho, it's time for their first challenge. And excuse me.
Excuse me.
Um, I don't remember the name of the challenge. I just know they're gonna get on this boat and
Do the life raft and sacrifice the people for the
yes, so
raft
basically
and the
no.
thing.
So when they get out there, He tells them that they have to get on the boat. They're going to roll to the different stations. You're going to need the fuel, and then there's money out there. You can get $40,000 or whatever, and you have so many amount of minutes to do so. And whoever is back in the shield, the little shield, when they light the fire, will earn a shield. So that's all he said. He never said anything about there would be sacrifices, that all of y'all will be able to come back. He never said anything like that, but I'm pretty sure for the gamers that kind of knew something was it was
There's a
gonna be some type
catch.
of twist, some type somewhere. Um, so they get on the boat and it is chaotic. The
First
first
of all, they can't row the freaking
They could
boat.
not row a freaking boat to save their lives. And it was like, at this moment, thank God for Bob the Drag Queen. And as much as I hate the fact that we're gonna have to say Bob the Drag Queen every single time we want to talk about Bob the Drag Queen. I hate that they put another Bob in the house because it's Bob H, you know,
And then Bob the Drag Queen.
and then Bob the Drag Queen.
Or just say TDQ.
Who is TQ?
TDQ. That's the like abbreviation when you
Oh,
don't want to say the drag
oh,
queen.
Bob TDQ.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. Anywho, thank goodness for the person that we just said the
Or
name.
just, or just
Oh,
say the
I
drag
ain't
queen.
doing nothing.
Or just say Bob. We know who you talking about. Bob sat here and said heave ho, and
Yeah,
everybody heave hoed.
yeah, yeah, that part. So we finally get some traction going. And we get up to the first platoon, and Tony jumps off. He reads the chest. Now, mind you, this is similar to a survivor, so the survivor people are used to doing these type of things, not actually rowing in this fashion. They actually have to, anyway. But so they're used to the jumping on and off of a boat. Let me just say that. So he jumps up, kind of natural instinct, almost seemed like to me, just for me.
Mhm.
And he reads the thing, and it says basically you can get this fuel, but two people have to sacrifice. Nobody wants to sacrifice themselves.
Naturally.
Right. But the challenges are supposed to be like, a team thing, but it's the first day. I get it. The first day I wouldn't be sacrificing myself. Like, I hadn't built up trust with anybody yet to feel like they would be advocating to keep me safe, and no. So, but anywho, Robin and I Young jump off first. Robin is like, "Good, I'll do it." Um, so cool. They get to the second platoon where they get the first $20,000, and Dorinda and Dolores ended up sacrificing because once again nobody really wanted to get off. They get to the third platoon, and they're steady looking for women to get off. And at this point, Bob still has to step in again and be like, bro, like, it can't just keep being all the women getting off of here. Like, we need some men to get off, or whatever. But
I mean,
Bob,
they played it off very well. They were like, because they knew that they weren't going to get murdered. So obviously, Bob could be like, okay, I can get off with no problem. But
there's a risk in doing so, though.
because you're putting yourself up for murder, everybody knows this. So if you're putting yourself up for murder and you're not really worried, you must not be worried because you must not be getting murdered because you must be a traitor or you
Mhm.
must have connection to it. So I think Bob played that off very well and saying, "Oh, we can't keep kicking the ladies off. That's not fair." Blah 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 blah. If none of you men want to do it, then I will do it.
Mhm.
And guess we eat that up. But what's funny is the others who were on the other rafts didn't think about this strategy or think
They
about
didn't think
this
about that strategy of them becoming traitors. But no, 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 no. Dolores picked up on it when they were on their raft of them making themselves targets.
Hmm.
She's like, we just made ourselves targets.
But
So
they
people
didn't
are
catch
getting
it till
mad.
after the fact.
They
It
didn't catch
was
it
like
till after the fact, but at least they caught it. So I was
they
like,
did catch it.
okay, okay,
They
yay.
did catch
You
it.
know, we're not so many episodes down the line of before y'all are clocking in and stuff. Um,
Right. Because Ian is over here talking about, baby, I am a pretty face.
and I have to keep reminding myself, activate the brain, activate the brain.
Activate the brain.
Oh my goodness, I
Activate the
fell
brain.
in love with her. I
Oh,
love
she is
her. I
funny.
love
She's
her.
funny, but
Um,
I would like
yeah.
for her to lock in.
Sam and Bob H also sacrificed themselves at the last platoon, but nobody wanted to go and get the last $20,000 because basically Tony was just like, "Listen, if ain't nobody, we're gonna get here and ain't nobody gonna sacrifice themselves. Like it's no point in us going there." What that made you mad?
Oh, that irritated the life out of me, Shay. That irritated the life out of me. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god.
So you're leaving
Oh
money
my
on the
god.
table.
So we
People are
leaving money
sacrificing
now.
themselves, and you making the people who are over there, you're lowering their chances of staying. Like their percentage of, you know, just went from what it would
From
have
10 to
been,
8.
yeah.
So I'm not doing the math, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not
But
either.
it went down. It went down at least 20%, maybe. I don't know.
Hmm.
But look, if I was on that life raft and they're coming back and they're talking about we didn't get it, you would have heard. Oh my god, I would have had to let them have it because what are you talking about?
Hmm.
If I'm on that boat and all these people done got off, I personally would have been embarrassed to been rowing back and say we didn't get the last one because I know y'all would have been pissed off and y'all would have been like y'all you Malik blah 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 blah. So I don't know. And knowing that this is a team effort and a group project, I think that two people should have sacrificed themselves
Hmm.
for that last 20K, got that money. Would that have made it in time?
Yeah, they had enough time to get there and get back. They had enough time. Um,
So
they had more than
yeah.
enough time to get there and get back. And but I'm proud of the women for standing up for themselves. Like, no, we're not jumping off. Like, we need to be safe, and we're rowing this boat, and we'll get there. We'll get back. Like, no, like no. It was one of them that called it out. She was like, "Yep, that's so misogynistic of you
It's
not
very
thinking like
someone is like that's very man centric, but okay.
yeah, like no."
Very man centric thinking. I think it was Ivor who was like another woman, another lady.
Yeah,
Sir,
come on, dude, don't do that.
you supposed to be one of the girls. Like, what's going on? Nah. Yeah, that was very distasteful. All of that.
Mm,
But then they really laid it in thick for the people who was on this for getting sacrificed
mhm.
because not only did they have to wait to get picked up, but while the team who rode and didn't sacrifice themselves went back to the castle
They had time to change their clothes, take showers, and eat dinner. But
about
here's my
75%
question.
of the food, mind you.
I'm wondering, did production tell them like y'all go, this is what y'all have to do? Because clearly production didn't leave them sitting out on those platoons that long. But however, I'm sure they probably left them out there for 30 minutes after they left. But then after that, you're not gonna tell me they just left y'all out there that long. But they
Nah.
damn sure held y'all ass up in them cars.
Okay.
Or maybe
I
they had
feel
to
like
leave to the cars, took the other cast members back, and then
to
come
the
back.
castle, yeah, something like that. But then they have multiple cars. Well, they have like four cars.
Hmm.
They fit them all out there. I don't know. I feel like once one team left, in one car, then they sent a boat to get somebody, bring that back, send the boat out, bring them back, send another boat out. So they keep doing this process. By the time they finish, everybody else is, like you said, changed and eaten. So now we bring them up here. Now I definitely think, like you said, production was productioning and
Hmm.
was doing this on purpose.
Yeah,
But
they
I
held
don't think they had
them
them
up
waiting
for
out there.
sure. They held them up in some type of way, like, or
Yeah.
y'all can't go back in the house, or they were outside. Some type of way, the production held them up. But I don't think they held them just out there on those platoons for more than 30 minutes
Yeah.
after the challenge and stuff had wrapped up. I hope not. But they were all hollering about it. It was cold and it was
It was,
miserable.
I was cold, I was hungry, I was wet, and I'm irritated because I could be murdered.
Yeah.
And you didn't even get the last 20,000 for the pot.
Hmm.
Ooh wee.
Bob was going off and I was liking his energy. I was like, okay, he wasn't doing too much. What he did was he was stirring the pot a little bit and then running back and then retreating. And I was like, okay, because Dorinda ended up taking the bait and she just went in it on Ivor. Um, she went housewife style, but she said it in her confessional, like, I'm feeling housewivesy. And if you don't know Dorinda for her works, um,
Then you
get
don't know
sauced up
Dorinda.
and she will go off. But she was right, they left us out there. The least we could have done was the first night was have a meal together, considering people had to actually like willingly volunteer to be murdered. It wasn't like we just lost the challenge and we know the rules and the rules are the rules. You get murdered. These are the people who are going up for banishment or murder, whatever. I can
I
understand.
wouldn't have even I wouldn't have even cared about that if I was in their shoes and I sacrificed myself to get murdered. I don't care that we're not eating dinner at the same time. I care that you chose not to get that last little bit of money, lot of bit of money actually.
Well, that's what
And
she said. She was
oh,
like, I
okay,
wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was an all in type of thing. Meaning
right.
you guys were gonna go get all of the money, or whatever. And it
And
was like,
sacrifice
yeah.
yourselves in the process, like I did.
Hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, my God.
So
Yeah.
although everyone is thinking there's 8 people that can be murdered, there's really only 6 people that can be murdered because Danielle nor Bob can be murdered. Now, Danielle did do initially. I was like, Danielle is doing good by one isolating her. I like that she kind of isolated herself because you don't have to do as much acting because you're by yourself. You only got to act like I'm so mad. I need a moment to myself and for the people. But it was like some of the fake tears and stuff. I was just like, Danielle, Danielle, don't go too far.
Okay.
Don't go too far.
Well, I think like I actually agree. When she went to isolate herself, I thought that that was fantastic because she had Tom eating at the palm of her hand, talking about "I'm so sorry, we're gonna make it up to you," blah blah blah, blah this and the other. So I thought that was really good too. Yeah.
Um, so Anywho, it's time for the big reveal, and they take their oath and they go up there, and we've talked about who the traitors are already, and it's Bob,
Oh, but they
Danielle.
don't know each
They
other.
don't know each other. So now they get the reveal to each other, and then Carolyn comes in, and they talk about who they want to murder.
First
And
of all, it's a bit of a gag because Danielle and Bob were on a raft together.
oh, yes, 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 they did discuss, and they discussed that. They were like, "Dude, you haven't eaten out the palm of your hands." Like,
I didn't even know. And that is so hilarious. I was eating it up the whole time. I was like, they don't even know that they traded.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I thought that was
it
great.
was like, it was so good. I was just like, "Ooh."
And Danielle and Carolyn too, because after they got out the round table,
Mhm.
they were having a conversation
Yeah,
and they
they
were
were
like,
having
yeah, I don't want to
conversation.
be. I would hate to be. Oh my
Mhm.
God. Yeah, no.
Uh,
Danielle is a pretty good actress. She is.
to a degree.
To
She
a
just don't
degree.
know when to turn it off. I feel like she don't know when to turn it on and when to turn it off sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes she
yeah.
be spot on and sometimes it's like, you don't even
You're
have to
doing
do
a lot.
Yeah, you're doing a lot, but we'll get to her doing a lot. Um, the episode goes off with them having Dorinda, Dolores, and Robin up for those are the options. Now, in the first meeting, Carolyn was very open about saying, let's not do Dorinda. Everybody thinks she's a traitor. Use her as a shield. When I watched it back the second time, I feel like where Carolyn went wrong was she wasn't fully able to convey her point with more supporting evidence other than just saying, she should be used as, she would be a great shield. She should have been able to just say a little bit more, but because she's already so frazzled, she wasn't able to get it done. And she was just like, eventually she was just like, I'm sick of this shit, like whatever, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm shutting
Y'all-
down.
I'm
Whatever.
shutting down. So um
Yeah, Danielle was. I mean, Danielle was also getting irritated with her being
mhm.
unable to do that, and with her being so frazzled. And I think that that was furthering her, stress levels where she
And
couldn't
I
think
got to
straight.
see just how messy that Bob the drag queen is, because I was sitting there just watching his face and he was just eating it up. He was just looking from face to face as they were talking, just a smiling in both. Like he was just eating it up. And I'm just like, no, sir, stop this. Like, y'all gotta have some type of
Wait, oh, I didn't peep that. I thought you were talking about messy, like stirring the pot type of messy.
um he
You
is.
talking about messy, like he was enjoying
Yeah,
watching them
he
two
was
go at it.
enjoying watching them two go at it.
Oh,
He was. He feels like he is the head honcho,
the
and these are
the
the head
traitor.
honcho, and these are the minions, and ultimately his decision is going to be what's going to be. And I'm just like, slow your roll, like
Okay,
slow your
like wait a
roll.
minute now,
Like
Bobsicle.
I know you were successful in Drag Race, but you ain't never really went up against these Big Brother and Survivor people like that. Like, don't push them too far. But it seems like him and Danielle, no matter what, are locked and loaded. Like they're locked in, so they're gonna protect each other no matter what. Um,
I think same thing with Carolyn too. I thought.
she don't feel like they will, and
No,
I personally don't feel like they will. I feel like if they start to hear her name, and because she's always giving pushback, um, in the turret, they may at some point decide to flip on her.
she's not even giving pushback. They're the one giving pushback. Well, at
Yeah,
least
because they
in
don't want
this
to
first
listen to
episode,
her.
they don't want to listen to her, and they
Mhm.
don't. What's crazy is she's right. Let's
Yeah.
keep Dorinda because they think she's a traitor. When that fizzles out, we'll kill her. But for right now, she's a suspect. So now,
Kill
in
the
getting rid
person
of
she
that,
was arguing with.
if you get rid of your suspect, other people are going to start looking for other suspects. And fast forwarding, we see
Or
a little bit what
kill
happens.
Dolores, because her and Dolores were tag teaming him, and make it look like Dolores killed her and Dolores. That like they were trying to frame a housewife or whatever, but they could have it's just they did not have to kill her. They could have
Dorinda.
killed Robin, because actually that's who Wichita suggested. She suggested Robin. She was like, Robin. Like I was thinking Robin. And that would have been a good kill. It really would have. So
They're not starting off too
her in
great, but
their
they're doing
argument
all right.
about housewives being traitors and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been a very good kill. Would have changed the trajectory of the game. And my who I, somebody I ended up didn't think I was going to want to see play in their game, ended up being a casualty of this particular decision. And we'll talk about that one in episode 2. Um, so of course, we never find out who they murder as a viewer until the next morning. Right before, as the breakfast and stuff is ensuing. So after we get their 3 nominations, we cut to Alan in the woods, and he's like, I told them that there's every action has a consequence in this castle, and blah 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 blah. And he brings out Rob, and he lets Rob know that because they didn't choose, they didn't choose you. Now they have changed the game, and now you are coming back into my castle, and you're coming as a traitor. And that is why I said in the beginning they made a big mistake, because had they chosen Rob to come in, Rob
He
would
would have
have
been
probably
faithful.
been a faithful, and whoever they exiled would have come back
Would have
in
been a traitor.
as a traitor. Plain and
So
simple.
did Carolyn do the right thing? Or did she do the wrong thing because she wanted to trade out Tony for
It
Rob?
depends on how you look at it, because then she still would have had to work with Tony directly as a traitor.
Oh, that's so true. But then
Mm.
at least, oh well, she's a traitor, so then it doesn't really matter. She has control over the
Right,
situation, pretty
but
much.
here's the thing: Tony is known for stabbing his number one in the back, meaning he might come in in the turret and end up doing to me what Sari did to her, you
Mm,
know. So I think those are the options that she's weighing out.
this game is so nasty. The
So
game
nasty,
is nasty.
so good though.
So
Um,
good.
but he also lets Rob know that he's not entering the game alone. And then the episode goes off, and I was like,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we was doing like evil laughs or something.
"Oh,
Like I thought that's my
I was
bad.
enjoying
I
it
thought
at
it was like an
first
evil.
until it went all the way out, and I was like, okay, right,
That's how you do an evil laugh. It's all out.
oh, okay, uh, yeah."
Okay. She talking about some hee hee ooh hoo hoo.
Well, I'm a faithful, so I'm
Oh,
not a traitor.
word,
I'm
word.
gonna be
I'm
a
a
faithful.
faithful too. Me too. Me too.
You're the traitor. Did you not just see that
Excuse me. Do you have any evidence?
laugh? That laugh.
Yeah.
That laugh took all the proof I needed.
I
Only a
knew what
traitor
you're
would
talking about.
laugh like that.
That was a very faithful laugh.
It was a very traitorous laugh. Anywho, we're not finna
Faithful
argue.
laughs. Traitors don't laugh. So.
Anyway, my faithful self um was looking at my, what was I watching this on? My phone, my computer, whatever I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, they did good to release 3 episodes, because it's no way I could have watched this and had to wait all the way
Waited
to the next Thursday. Absolutely not. No way. I'd have boycotted Peacock so quick.
so
Like
bad
I'd have
until the next week.
been yeah, to the next week.
Just the
Um,
next week.
so episode 1 of Traitors overall was a really, really good episode. I am a little indecisive on Rob being a traitor, and I'm a little indecisive on how I feel about Rob being a traitor. I'm sorry. And I'm a little indecisive on how I feel about Rob coming into the game behind everybody. I feel like it's kind of setting him up to fail, but at the same time, him being a traitor is kind of a saving grace, because if he hears his name from, he just got to make it through the banishment. It's like he has to make it through the banishment, and if he can make it through the banishment, he can murder, the people that are targeting him, or you know. So
Mind you, and I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but guess who said 0 words at the banishment? I'm talking about not a peep.
we
Play the
know,
game right. Play the game
yeah.
correctly.
Um, and that's going to bring me to what I wanted to say about productioning. When they told him he wasn't entering the game alone, I was like, okay, now production is like, they had, what I feel like is production always had these two alternates. I have two sides of this thought. Production always had two alternates, and depending on the decision that they made at the beginning of the game, whether they let Rob in or not, they were going to bring in alternates so that when they brought in Rob, it wouldn't be so much of an upset. But because he came in with a couple of people, you really can't say he's a traitor or faithful. Like, you're at least going to have to dig and give him a couple of chances to see
Is one
his
of you three at
action. You know
least.
what I'm saying? Um, or when production made the decision to cast Rob, they always knew that they needed to get two more big names to go in the game with Rob to save Rob, because it's so many big names. So yes, he is Boston Rob, but it's so many big names, and depending on who is familiar with whom, you know, for some people Wes may be the bigger target. For some people, Derek may be the bigger target. For some people, Tony may be the bigger target, and they may want to get Tony out before they get Rob out. I feel like they have a lot of shields around him to kind of keep him in the game a little bit longer, thinking viewership wise. You know what I'm saying?
I see
Like,
what you mean.
return on
Casting wise,
investment
they wanted to
wise.
bring
You know
more.
what I'm saying?
Okay, okay.
Same way they did with Deal or No Deal Island. Rob was set up to be voted off or go play the banker many times. And the one time that they really was about to make that happen, there was no, Amy made a good deal, but there was no elimination that night. You see, and then there was another particular time that um he was supposed, like, the production was productioning to keep him at least to the last episode for the
Hmm.
viewership purposes. You see what I'm saying? So that's why once I saw that twist at the end, well, episode 2, but end of episode 1, when he said you're not entering alone, I was like, okay, which was good. It was really good, because if they were smart, the first thing you would do is, we said no in the beginning, and now he's here, get him out. Faithful or traitor, he's got to go. If he gets to the end, he takes it all. You know. However, that if you're faithful, you're still thinking like, well, I could, as long as I'm on his good side, if I can get to the end with him, at least four of us, four faithfuls can go to the, four people can go to the end. You know,
Right. Yeah,
maybe.
I agree. I think whenever somebody does something like that, reality show wise, whenever they're like, we're bringing in one more person, they're usually always the first person gone. So I think it's a great idea to bring in other people with him, especially for this, in order to mask, like you said, mask his title,
Mm-hmm.
and provide a shield for him. So
Yeah,
yeah, I agree. I like it.
yeah. All right. Well, what are you rating episode 1? And I do apologize if y'all can hear that. They are mowing the yard outside. First day we
It's
really got a little sun.
snowing
It's
outside,
all of
so
this. Yeah, we don't have snow here.
so
Y'all are
sorry.
still snowed in?
Not necessarily snowed in. There's snow, but it's really just ice now because it rained last night on top
Mm,
of the snow. So it's just ice now. But I ain't leaving. I ain't going nowhere. Um, However, unlike the snow, I give the show an A. I thought it was very good all the way through. I'm happy with the traders. I'm interested in their work relationship. The three of them together, the four of them together. I'm interested to see the rest of these plots. I'm ready to see who dies and who survives. I'm ready to see who wins this money and who doesn't. I'm just ready. It's a very great episode.
I
It got
think
me
we're
prepared.
focusing on the money to around here, but
Okay.
it is just like Deal or No Deal Island. I feel like we are in for a very wild ride, and I am so tuned and locked in. And I give this episode an A plus for sure. No, I give it an A because I kind of wish they would have brought in Rob in the beginning, and then
The people or production?
no, I wish
Production.
somebody would, no, I wish somebody would have walked
Um,
up and shook Alan's hand. Like,
I knew
Why
anybody
y'all
was
scared?
gonna do
Like
that.
this cast, they're scared, and I don't like that. Like it's kind of like they're a little scared of everything. And I'm like, no, you're here to win
You know
money.
what's funny? Okay, I don't know if I really would have done this, but the first thought I had was like, see, I would be the person to go up and shake Rob's hand and be like, I'm going to replace myself. I mean, I'm going to replace you with myself because I just know for a fact, like you said, they wouldn't bring him out here just for us to reject him and then they send him away back home.
Hmm.
Same with me, at least if I'm a big name, which a lot of them are. So I would probably feel like there's a twist or a turn happening, but I
I
don't know.
don't
I would
think
want to do that.
yourself
I don't
could
think I would do
probably would.
that.
I don't think they would have let you done yourself.
Oh, you don't think so?
I don't
I
think
think they would have
no, because then they
just
would
for
immediately revealed the plot line to everybody. If you nominated yourself, they would be like, "Well, what you come out here for?" Like clearly, you're not going to get your appearance fee because you nominated yourself to be.
well,
Uh,
yeah, but that's why it would get. That's why it would be like, what himself? What? And it's like, well, he's Malik just sent himself home, so he's one less person for us to worry about. And then episode 2 comes along, and Alan's like, reveal blah 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 blah, 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 in case you haven't watched episode 2. And then you get the reveal, and it's like, we thought we got rid of you. So then it's like maybe they would be suspicious of me as a traitor, even though it's the same thing with Rob. But Rob is a traitor, so and I would be a traitor. So I don't know. It's just a theory.
I
It's
don't
just a
know.
theory.
We'll see. Well, I mean, I guess we'll never know now because we
I'm
got
not
our
on.
hands back, and he is a
Yeah,
traitor, and that's that. So that will wrap up our review recap of Traitors season 3, episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop down in the comments and let us know how you feel about the Traitors. Who would have been your traitor picks if not these three, four people that we know now? And your thoughts about the episode. Make sure you like this video on your way out. Make sure if you have not subscribed already, you go ahead and do so. Help us out. We are trying to grow and expand, massively this year. So help us out. Hit that subscribe button, and don't just hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button as well when you see the videos, and the notification bell button. And we will see you guys on the episode 2 recap, which I'm not going to put a time and a date on it, but episode 2 recap will be coming out shortly.
soon
And
and very soon.
Deal or No Deal Island season 1 recap is up. It is our longest recap to date, but it was so good. We had so much to talk about, much like this episode. I imagine Traders episode 2 will probably be another hour long recap. But when I tell you guys this show is so good,
Good.
we're not playing. Like they didn't miss the mark on these shows. For these seasons, by far, they did not miss any marks. So no, we just gotta talk about it. And as always, I'm your girl Shay,
I'm your boy Malik.
and we're gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys on the next one.